Hello everyone, my name is Pratik Parija, and for this project I decided to focus on cars and the environment. For the project I decided to make an animated video that with key information regarding the evolution of cars and their impact on the environment along the way through the era. I know the information of this kind can be a lot to digest, and many times it just goes over people's heads. So I try to create a visually appealing animated video with some key points and in a sort of a chronological order. So it goes from the beginning of when cars were created to where they are now to where they're going in the future. Um, so I use animated elements and images to help clarify or make the information that I'm sharing, more interesting, and that's something that sticks to you and makes you more aware of the situation regarding the relationship between the cars and the environment. I have the video posted on the website here that I've created, or just standalone. It's going to be in the link you can see in this comment section or over here. Um, yeah, so I'll give you a little information. This video you can watch. It's about 7 minutes. So it's a little over 7 minutes long, so you can watch it at your own discretion. But I'll go through it a little quickly, so to give you an idea of how I went about with it. So So basically, I'm showing the first car ever created here in the future, basically. So I started off talking about the birth of the car, talking about how it started out, how, what happened, when did it start. Then talking about gasoline, which is the main fuel for cars. Um, Another information here. I basically use elements, different elements. I animated all these sections. I had to used Adobe products, Adobe tools to create all this. So I try to, all the images that are accompanying the information are, relating to the information that's posted. So this way, it can all make sense to people when you're looking at it, when you're reading the information. So sometimes you might not digest the information itself, but you'll see the image, and some of the information is going to stick to you. So going through, evolution of cars and gasoline and how they've affected the environment, and sort of the steps that are being, have been taken and are being taken to make things cleaner and make things better for the environment. So I'll skip forward. You can watch this on this link has been posted for the website and the video as it itself. You can check it out. So I basically talk about how they're affecting sort of emissions they're producing and how it's been affecting global warming, how its effect on human health, and how it's causing people health issues. And then I talk about how it's destroying many environments, causing acid rain and destroying crops and things like that. This is when I get into talking about electric cars and where they came about. Like electric cars, they came about around the same time as gas cars, but gas cars have been more popular because they're just easy to use. They have always been easier to use compared to electric cars, and with time there had been like low gas prices, and gas was just seemed very abundant and very easy to manufacture and very easy to use, process and use. So we just stuck with it. For everyone, it was easy. And electric cars were just like there was issues with them, with the grid system, with the way they were being produced. But then I started talking about how electric cars basically started out, different eras, different times. Like they were popular in the 70s, but then they've dropped off. Then they became a little popular in the 90s, and they dropped off again. Then in the 2000s is when they became, came to more prominence with the rise of the Toyota Prius and Tesla Motors by Elon Musk. And I started talking about how, the government started to fund, the U.S. government especially started to fund research into it, help build infrastructures, and how different improvements, in battery technology and all that reduced cost and made it easier for regular folks and the average consumer to think about it as a viable option. Like electric cars can be an option for them to buy. Then I'll also talk about the sort of flaws that there are with electric power. Like the electric production, for example, is still being produced through coal-powered plants, and they're not clean as of now. But they're changing with time. For example, Tesla, for example, their new cars are being built on through electricity and through factories that are being powered by renewable energy. But I'll talk about how the main emissions comes from use case for cars rather than just manufacturing. So in the long run, electric cars produce much less emissions as opposed to gas-powered cars. And I use example from the UK, where it showed that emissions fell 38% as electric production became cleaner and electric cars started being used more and more. And I use some graphs where you can see how, use case wise, the red, you can see how electric cars are very low in terms of emission, while gas cars are high in emissions as years go by. So then I talk about like what happens if you change the existing car on the road, gas powered car on the road with an electric car. And I'm going to talk about the source of the energy, the grid system. The grid is mainly the thing that causes the emission, because electric cars generally don't produce any emissions. It's the electric production that causes all the emissions. So I'll talk about how the grid's been changing, how research is being done to make it cleaner, a cleaner process using renewable energy instead of using coal powered and coal power plants to produce electricity. And as time goes on, electric cars are going to become more and more efficient. So I talk about the limitations compared to limitations versus gas cars and electric cars. Gas cars can only get so efficient, while electric cars are going to keep getting more and more efficient, and the net emission production is going to go down to almost zero. While that's not going to happen with gas cars, they're still going to produce some sort of emissions. As long as we're using oil and petroleum, that's just going to keep happening. And then I talk about, I ended with talking about hydrogen, which is one of the main contenders for, with electricity as to the future fuel technology. Hydrogen has been very appealing to many people because it's very much like gas. It gives you, it can easily be fueled anywhere, and it gives you the same sort of range as opposed to electric cars. Electric cars take hours to charge fully, and there's not many gas stations, and if you find enough stations, it takes a long time to charge the car. While hydrogen is not like that. But hydrogen itself also has issues, like hydrogen is not available in its purest form on Earth, while it's the most abundant element in the universe. So you have to produce hydrogen from different processes like electrolysis or natural gas reforming. But electrolysis is a very intensive process, and it's very expensive. It's the cleanest process, but it's very expensive. So most people rely on natural gas reforming, which produces carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, which is really harmful to the environment and really takes away any sort of benefits of hydrogen power as of now. So I mean, as technology is just gonna keep improving, and it's just gonna keep getting better and better. So we're just moving in the right process, in the right direction. So all I can say is the environment is gonna be the winner in the end, and so whatever happens, it's just technology is gonna get better, and the auto industry is gonna improve, and it's gonna get cleaner, and in the end, it's gonna be a win-win for the environment and for the auto industry, because as research and technology is being more and more developed in terms of like battery electric and hydrogen fuel cell, that's going to end up becoming the predominant fueling technology of the future. As we can see now, Tesla shares are going up. More and more people are buying Tesla cars because they're becoming more affordable, and they're very clean and good for the environment. So people who are very conscious about the environment and protecting the environment, they are going towards that direction. So through this animated video that I made, I was trying to basically pinpoint and show some of the important information in a very visually appealing way, so you can see the information, you can see the images that accompany it, and it will kind of make a little more sense to you when you're watching it. So I mean, the video is posted, you can watch it at your own speed, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Yeah, so that's all I can say. And on this website that I created, it's a company website. I have the video, and I wrote a little bit about why I decided to make go into this project. I also have the citations posted, the all the bibliography of the sources that I use. So if you want to check out more information, you can do that. And I also have the literature review about like stuff that I found out that's going on in the world of cars and the fueling technology. So I talk about that, and I posted it here in one of the tabs. You can check out. And yeah, and last I have a little bit about me. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this mini little presentation talking about what I did, and hopefully you guys enjoy the little animated video that I made when you guys watch it. Thank you.